My name is Elmo. Car brands, they get weird sometimes. You see, this is Isuzu Drive-By, but surprise, it's got a Honda badge on it. Or you own a Dodge Caliber, and you go to Pet Boys and, well, the parts say Mitsubishi on them. And suddenly, you're worried the whole world, well, it's not real. So today on Blinker Fluid, everything is a lie. Wait, hold up. I mean badge engineering, or rebadging, or twinning, or whatever you want to call it. Why do companies try to confuse us? Is it a nefarious plot? And what's up with the Holden Monero? Well, in my mind, there are 4 different categories. And here, I'm gonna break it down for you, and you'll see exactly what I mean. Starting with the simple rebadge. Now, there are a lot of these, like the aforementioned Holden Monero, which we here in the States slap a Pontiac badge on and call it a GTO, or the Holden everyone wants, the Chevy SS. Usually companies do this just to bring over a new model that maybe they don't have in the States, so while people in the States like shouty V8 muscle cars, we don't have Holden, but we do have Pontiac, well, we did. You see, Honda likes to do some of the same things. You know, the Acura RSX, aka the DC5 Honda Integra, has the Acura badge on it because that was what Americans expected. This category is like the most harmless, I guess, because chances are you didn't even know that the SS is a rebadged Holden Commodore VF. Since, well, the States, we don't have the Commodore driving around at all. The next category though, that's when things get really weird. Like, really weird.
Oh my.
And I like to call it the, hey, you can copy my homework, but change it around a little bit so the teacher doesn't notice category. You feel me? It's what most people think of when they think of badge engineering. What they do is they start with a car like a Chevy Silverado, then put GMC clothing on it, slap some different leather in and call it a Sierra. Or take the Toyota Matrix, change it around and make it look enough different from a distance and call it a Pontiac vibe. So, there are 2 main reasons that companies might do this. Sometimes it's because 2 separate companies work together to develop the same car. That's your Toyota 86 and Subaru BRZ. They were co-developed by both companies, so both companies get to sell them under their own label. Ford is a big fan of this, since, well, they worked hard with Mazda in the past. It's why you can laugh when your friend tells you that they don't trust an American truck like the Ranger, then they pull away in their Mazda B-Series truck. Well, that's exactly the same truck. The other reason companies do this is to reach a market they otherwise couldn't. Like how the Chevy Cobalt and the Pontiac G5, well, they're the same car, same as the Saturn Ion, mostly. Pontiac, Chevy, and Saturn all have different marketing profiles. So, Chevy can make their production dollars go further by just selling the same vehicle in multiple places. Or how the Honda Passport is literally just an Isuzu Rodeo. But Honda didn't have a small SUV in the mid-90s, you know, when the SUV craze was in full swing. So, they just stuck an H on the Rodeo, and they had a bucking good time. Now, the most famous badge engineering companies though, the likes of Chrysler and Mitsubishi, used their badges to exploit loopholes in the law to reach new markets. You may have heard of the DSM triplets, the Eagle Talon, the Plymouth Laser, and the Mitsubishi Eclipse. Just 2 are Chrysler properties. 1 is a Mitsubishi. Sure, there's some cosmetic differences between them. Peel off the badges and the headlights and they're all the same damn thing. Rabbit hole gets much deeper than that. The Dodge Stealth is a Mitsubishi 3000 GT. The Mitsubishi Raider is a Dodge Dakota. And the frankly pretty cool 80s Mitsubishi Starion is also a Dodge Conquest. Yeah. Believe me, that is a lot of trickery, and it's for very good reason. Dodge and Mitsubishi own part of each other's production lines, so that they could avoid import laws and extra taxes. By producing cars like the Starion and labeling it a Dodge, it was technically a domestic car and didn't get taxed. That's some big brain thinking right there. For the most part though, the homework category creates cars that are similar in price and function. Another category of badge engineering is the upgrade category, where you take some lame car, hit the upgrade button, then you sell it for way more. Usually these kinds of upgrades take place within the same company. Like GM owns both Chevy and Cadillac. So when they wanted to sell their soccer mom hero Tahoe to all the rich soccer mamas in Beverly Hills, they slapped on a Cadillac badge, trimmed it in leather, and they called it the Escalade. Toyota and Chevy are the kings of up-badging. The Lexus ES300 is just a Toyota Camry for middle managers. The Caddy CT series is a fancy Camaro. The Lexus GX470 is a Toyota 4Runner. And the stunning Cadillac XLR is a somehow more gussied up and slower Corvette. But it's not just upgrading a car to make it fancier. There are also times when companies change a car around to fit other lifestyles. You know, for every Ford Fusion upgraded to a Lincoln MKZ, there's also a Pontiac Solstice that's meant for old people. That's styled after cars from a forgotten time. And its twin, the Saturn Sky, that's aggressively styled to appeal to younger people. So you could also consider the Chrysler 300, which is mature, a serious car, just like your boy. But guess what? It's also a Dodge Charger, which boomers and hooners love to rip around. And the best one, if you ask me, is the Mercury Marauder and the Crown Vic. Yes, the Ford Crown Vic for, you know, the cop wannabe, and the Marauder for the people who hate the cops. You'll notice that each time we advance a category, the changes get more drastic. When you rebadge a Monero into a GTO, you don't change anything. But there are subtle differences between the BRZ and the 86. And even though they are the same car, each DSM triplet has its own style. By the time you are upgrading cars from, say, the Charger to the 300, they are totally different cars for totally different markets, despite being mostly the same underneath the skin. And that leaves one final category. It's called platform sharing. Yes, it works like this. You know, the Dodge Journey, it's a cheap, crappy little SUV thing. But guess what? If you go buy parts for it, they are the same parts for a Lancer Evo 10. That's because they are both on the GS or Project Global platform. And what's kind of crazy is that this usually takes place in the same company. You know, the Ford Escape shared the same platform with the new baby Bronco, and the mighty Dodge Challenger shares the same platform with the 300/Charger. If you want to see how extreme it can get though, the Nissan FM platform is just about every single car Infiniti and Nissan made that's rear-wheel drive, including the QX4, the 350Z, the new Z, the Stagia, the G37, the FX35, and the hulking QX70, and all the Skylines that aren't GTRs. Well, why? Well, this one's actually the easiest. While oftentimes badge engineering is done to reach new markets, shared platforms are simply a way to save money. Nissan only makes 2 cars, and because of that, they can afford to give you those too good to be true leasing deals. Volkswagen has like 2 platforms now too, and the Golf, Polo, Jetta, Tiguan, and Audi A3, Q3, and the Q5 ride on essentially the same one. So wrapping it all up, we have to talk about a very special car, which is pretty much every single category all at once. It is no surprise that GM and Chrysler are the absolute kings of badge engineering. They make up most of our examples, and GM especially has been doing it for a long time. The X body cars and later G body cars are all the same car with a different number of doors and different badges based on where you buy them. That includes the Nova, Buick Apollo, Buick Skylark, Pontiac Phoenix, and way more. But that's not where the crown is going. Let me introduce you the Chrysler K car. Not to be confused with the tiny Japanese cars, the K platform and its derivatives revolutionized the automotive world. At one time, there was over 30 different cars spanning across the world over 6 companies. And these were all just K cars. Chrysler LeBaron? K car. Plymouth Caravelle? K car. Plymouth Reliant? K car. Dodge Magnum Turbo? K car. Laser, Daytona, Omni, Mitsubishi Powered Shadow, Acclaim, Lancer, New Yorker. Yes, they are all the same damn car. That, ladies and gentlemen, is insane. So, the moral of the story, do your research when you buy a car. But we say that pretty much every time we talk about weird car stuff. None of this is necessarily a bad thing, but know what you're getting yourself into before you go buy that new Lexus and learn that it's just really a dolled up Camry underneath all of it. Hey, this has been a look at the insane world of badge engineering. And if you liked it, tell us your favorite or tell us a story of how you got tricked by a car. Then watch this video about another badge engineered car, the Acura Integra, which is our favorite overdrive video. I'm Brad, this is Ideal, and as always, keep living the ideal lifestyle.